I'm going to talk to you about what the library can offer you, and I suspect a lot of you already know this sort of stuff because you've been here for a while. So really what I'll be reiterating here is just things you may have been told in the past but potentially have forgotten. Just to highlight what we have for you as HDR students, which is slightly different to what we offer to our undergrad students and our postgrads. So I'll just start at the beginning, and you can ask me questions if you like, but basically I'll just go through what we have on offer for you. And it's probably, you know, it's a sort of a thing, I'll show you some, talk about some things, and you can just go to those points on our website and then click through to find more information, because a lot of those links will drop out into places like the HDR skills and learning skills areas. We connect quite strongly to the HDR learning skills workshops that Juliet talked about, and that also Sally's mentioned as well. So we kind of all work together, but within the library we can offer you these extra things for doing your research as well. So let's go. So here's what I was just saying. I'll talk about the library itself, our research consultations. Has anyone taken up a research consultation so far? Yeah, have you found them useful? We do. Oh, I'll talk about that in a second. So we've also got the facility to get you information from other libraries and suppliers, so Interlibrary Loans. As HDR students, you do have access to the greater world of libraries, so just remember that when you're doing your research, if you need something from the British Library or some other library in America, we can potentially find it for you and bring it to the campus, and generally have about a 2-week loan on that. So anyway, okay, so this is a shot of our library homepage, which I hope you're all familiar with. It just got a little bit of a revamp over Christmas. Now we have can I use this? Oh, yeah. This section here. This section here will drop down, you might have found, so you can choose things like unit readings, papers that have been published, and databases as well, so you can just type into that multi-search box and get your information a bit quicker. You can also use Google Scholar at MQ. It's a good choice to go through the Google Scholar page. Link here, because when you search through Google Scholar this way, you'll find you come up with information that says find it at MQ, and then it'll come back to our catalogue and find the information that you can pick up, or full text that way. I hope that makes sense. Under borrowing, you've got things like how to borrow, what you can access as an HDR student, and there's details there about the Interlibrary Loan service we offer. Under the research link there, we have research support links. So maybe you've already seen it. We've got things like the links to clinical research consultations with our scientific research librarians. We've also got the research output management links, so that's details for your thesis writing and how to write articles for journals and how to find out the best journals to put them in, and so on. Then we've also got the links to the HDR workshops under that research link there. And of course the LibGuides, our subject and research guides, are also held under that research link. The other point we've got there is the Contact Us link. That will show you the different links out to the research librarian, so you can request a consultation with someone. in your area. I'll show you a slide on that in a second. So if you're doing, if you've decided you want to see your research librarian in your area, they can give you an introduction to the relevant information resources in your field that we hold. They can help you analyse your search strategies and
Okay, that's fine.
that's okay. Got to start again. Let's have a little break.
And stretch kind of thing. Yeah, it's another 4.5 hours.
It's on. We just need to do this.
Needs to power up.
Yep, that's fine. Preview. Cooling on. Projector too? Yeah, but we need to get that screen down. Oh, just hang on a second.
Do you just keep talking? And
Okay.
the slides come down?
Is there any information that we can fill them in?
Yeah. It's going to work in a minute, isn't it?
Yeah, we just have to wait for them to finish.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could just keep talking without...
Okay. All right. You'll have to imagine what's on the screen.
Wait for the slide, for the projector to cool down, it'll then...
It'll
come
do
back
its
on.
thing, and then it'll come down. Right. Okay. That's a nice little interlude. All right. So, reasons you'd get a consultation with your research librarian. We can point you to relevant information sources that you might not have thought of. We can help you strategise for effective database searching. We can advise you on setting up and managing alerts within those databases and within multi-search itself. That's a key point if you're still in the phase of your literature review. Once you've got your major work results down, I guess you could say, you set up save searches and then some alerts. That way you'll get emails into your inbox with the newest information coming out that we've received through multi-search. There'll be great little links of just the journal articles, and you can click through them into the full text. So that's a really great option. You can also set up these alerts through other databases like citation databases like Web of Science or Scopus, and if you're doing law, Jade or something like that. Is anyone here doing law? No, one or two? Yeah. Oh, you might want to come and see me sometime. So the other thing that's really important is to locate high-impact journals, and that's where you get a feel for what those journals are. You'll be pointing yourself and your writing towards these high-impact journals, and that will be better for your research career if you're taking that option, or just, you know, kudos for having an article published in a really good journal. But we'll talk more about that. Here's the screen for finding your... Oh, no, you can't see that yet. Sorry. So, on our website, under that research link I showed you earlier, you will see a contact, or even in the Contact Us one actually, you will see, here we are.
We've got a screen.
Yay. Oh, we don't have a projector. You'll see the list of the different faculties, and within those faculties you can drill down to find your research librarian. And I'll just move along. So, now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was the Orchid ID. Oh. Has anyone heard of the Orchid ID? Okay, great, a few people have. So what we can help you do is set up your Orchid ID, and here we are. So I'll just go back a slide and show you. This is the way you can contact your research librarians. So we've got that list there. When you drop down at the little plus there, you'll find the names of everybody there. Okay. So Orchid, that stands for, I've written it down, Open Researcher Contributor ID. It's your unique identifier for your research now and way into the future. So what you can do is you can actually sign up for one of those yourself if you just go on the website to that. It acts like a DOI that people use for documents, but instead of identifying the object, it's just for you. It follows you through your research over time, and you can, if you sign up through, if you log it into Web of Science or Scopus, one of those, you can easily collate your metrics, your data metrics, when you're doing your research publications and your CVs as a scientist or academic. One reason you'd use Orchid is that the NHMRC and ERA and the ARC all encourage their researchers to have an Orchid ID. So that's very encouraging for open access. And it links to our Pure system, where you'll find all the Macquarie papers and theses are stored through Research Online. Does everyone know about Research Online? If you're not quite sure, it's a great way to look at the theses of people who have already studied in your area, to get a feel for what's been done in your field, also who they've sourced, look at their footnotes and their referencing to see which journals they publish in. Hopefully they're high impact journals as well, so it's a really good option to have a look in there. Okay, borrowing through the library. Borrowing an unlimited number of books for 16 weeks and for renewals. That, I don't know, might take you right till the end of the year if you want to borrow something in January. Sounds like it. You can use the automatic retrieval collection system, the ARC robot, and you can request those through the multi-search catalogue. And you can online, what have we got here? Online access to borrowing details. Oh yes, so you can put holds on books and other material that you might want to have a look at. Okay, so for the HDR researchers, we have an HDR space. Does anyone know about it yet? Got a couple of hands, not too many though. It's a great spot for quiet study without the undergraduates hanging around. There is coffee and tea making facilities up there in a little kitchen. It's nicely air conditioned, and what else do I like about it? It's got a vending machine, it says, but I don't think it has chocolate. It only has drinks. So that's the only downside as far as I can tell. It's a really nice space, so I encourage you to all apply for access to that area. You can look at our library homepage again for that, and it's also under that HDR Research link that I showed you on the first page. Okay, so talking about interlibrary loans we were earlier, the way to get to them is through this tab on the top of the multi-search homepage. Once you click into advanced search, it will show you that one. There's two ways to get into that. You can just click that and then fill in the details, and that's probably the best way to do it. It will, once you click request, it will generate a search through multi-search to double check that we don't have it in our collection in some form, and then it will say we can order that in for you and we'll give you an email when it arrives. The subject and research guides are held for all faculties, as you can see here. When you click into those, they'll drop open to other things, like the arts one has the law area. What else? Whatever subjects are under those different fields. Research support is one I would point you to. That has links for tracking your research, getting information on how to search for those really high impact journals, and getting your journal metrics up to date. And there's also the links there for having a chat with us or getting in touch with your research librarian, as you can see down the bottom there. Our bibliographic referencing software, hopefully everybody's using that by now. There's EndNote, Mendeley and Zotero. They're the three main ones we support here. We have got workshops coming up in the next 2 weeks, and I'd encourage you to come to those. I don't think you need to register for them. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, apparently. Getting nods. So those links are also on the HDR workshop link page. So just have a look there for those. Oh, and here it is. The same one we've had before. So research output and output management, I've been mentioning that all the time. Look at the research online for the digital access to our collection. Sorry? Oh, no. Okay. You've got your information there about how to do your research identifiers, open access at Macquarie Guide, and then there's links there on copyright, which you must consider when you're gathering your information for your thesis. There are lots of implications for copyright, not just 10% or one chapter worth of photocopying. So have a look at those links there to just double check that what you're doing, and if you're gathering photos or other texts of some sort, that you're following copyright licensing and other things. Okay, the library is in charge, if you like, of digitising people's academic outputs, and you can contact us through the link there, and then your material will go in here. This is the space I was just saying is great to start looking at what people have done in your field through Macquarie and the types of journals they've used in their footnotes and all sorts of, and the types of areas they've talked about in their work. Again, the workshops we have organised are listed on the HDR workshop page. We can give you individual consultations. These last an hour and can be on anything you're having trouble with, or you're just a little bit intimidated by, or not quite sure how to start on. So please contact us. I can't stress that enough. Also, we have a lot of material online. Most of it's through the subject and research guides linking out to other places if necessary, but again, you can always contact your research librarians. Our opening hours are always listed on the front page of the website, the library website or library homepage. Generally it's 8 till 10 Monday to Friday, and then 10 till 6 on the weekends. That's it. Thank you very much.